This is part two of our video that growth feels like grief. Growth can feel like grief. This is part two of our video. And we left off of our last video about fear being the situation where people don't want to grow, or they feel that their growth is causing them this uncomfortability of um, moving into an atmosphere or a stratosphere of the unknown, right? So when things are unknown, we get scared. Hey, welcome to the Baggio channel. Welcome to another video. This is the home of self-care, beauty, wellness, and any and everything that'll help you to become the most empowered version of you. This is part two of our video that growth feels like grief. Growth can feel like grief. This is part two of our video. And we left off of our last video about fear being the situation where people don't want to grow, or they feel that their growth is causing them this uncomfortability of moving into an atmosphere or a stratosphere of the unknown, right? So when things are unknown, we get scared. But growth sometimes demands that. Growth demands that you move into an area that's unknown, because your blessing, your next level is in that unknown. So either you choose to shrink back and say, hey, I don't want to do it because I'm afraid, or you move forward. And so moving forward has to be a conditioning of your mind, right? You have to have a mindset that I have to move forward, irrespective of what everything around me looks like. That takes courage. And that's coming from a person who I have struggled with having courage my entire life, because I've always been a person that never want to step on somebody's toes or offend somebody. I wanted to be the good little girl. But as you grow up and you learn that being a person who learns how to advocate for yourself is not, you have to be a person to advocate for yourself. You have to learn how to speak up for yourself and still be an honorable and good girl. You know what I mean? Growth feels like grief, and moving into that unknown is essential. But I want to move into another one. Another reason why growth can feel like grief, because of the pain of changing. That there's a pain that feels like grief when you're changing, when you're doing something different. It could be something simple, from sleeping until 8, 10 o'clock in the morning to getting up at 5 o'clock every morning. That is a pain. That's a pain. Doing things differently, it feels painful. Because first of all, your body is not accustomed to it. Your mind is not accustomed to it. Secondly, there's a pain because you're leaving comfortability. Whenever you move from comfortability, there is a discomfort where it often feels like pain, similar to what grief feels like. But this is necessary. Part of growth. If you have to be more committed to growth in your life than you are to being afraid of pain. You ever heard of growing pains? Yeah, this is what I'm saying. You have to be more committed and more dedicated to growing. To the point where if I have to go through this painful season of my life to get to the other side and I'll be at that level of growth, that's what I'll do. You have to be committed. You mentally, you have to commit, whatever it looks like. Listen, I want to grow. That's it. Pain, those growing pains often send people back. They be like, nah, I don't want to go no more. It hurts too bad. But whether you, and see, and this is my understanding, whether you move forward or whether you keep or stay where you are, the pain is going to be there. So it doesn't even matter. So you may as well move forward and do what you have to do, because the pain is going to exist on every level. Whether you move forward in the pain of moving through that issue, or you move forward in the pain of acknowledging and reaching another level of your life. That is where the bliss is. That is where the happiness is that you persevered and you say, listen, I am going to move forward no matter how this feels. And that is what real growth look like. That is why growth, it mimics grief so much. It looks and it feels like grief. That is why. Because you have to endure. And that's what grief does. Grief endures. Grief, you feel with grief. You understand? And so these are the things in terms of pain that you have to make up in your mind that you're going to accept in order to grow. And last but not least, it's regret and nostalgia. You know, we all have that. You lose something or you have to leave something. It's like we have this thing where we start to think about what we used to have or how it used to be and what it was. Or listen, all of that, let that go. It's going to be there. You even how many we experience regret. We experience nostalgia as a child. You know, you remember certain things like, dang, I remember when I used to could just wake up on a Saturday morning, look at cartoons all day, eat my cereal, and life was simple. Yeah, that's what it was, but it ain't like that no more. That's not enough. That nostalgia is not enough for me to want to abandon my adulthood and want to go back to childhood. Neither should it be for you reaching different levels of growth. If you're growing and you're moving into different stratospheres of your life, regret, nostalgia will be there. Look at it, see it, acknowledge it, keep it moving. You have to be determined to grow. You have to want to grow beyond any and everything that exists. And and if I'm being honest, when you're growing, that is consistent with your evolution. And anything that's not consistent with your evolution, it has to stand aside or move completely out of the way. Adios. Adios. Your growth is a part of who you are as a human being. And growing is a natural part. It's a natural progression of having a life that is um, fully actualized and fulfilling. You know, I believe that a lot of times we go through these anxiety periods and these stressful depressions and different things of that nature because we're not living our life to the fullest. We're not moving into a direction of self-actualization where we are becoming the fullest version and the best versions of ourselves. You don't get there. You abort the mission or something happens and you just never reach that full potential. And I feel like that is something that God put in all of us to thrive and to, if we're on this earth, we're here to live a life of purpose and intention. And my personal belief is that that cannot be done separated from God. It cannot be. That's my personal belief. But in context of this self-care, I feel like when you are moving and you're wanting to grow and you want to go in different directions, who else know the direction you need to go next other than God? He created you. He put you here. He wrote the manual on you. He got the textbook for you, your personal, customized, bespoken textbook. He has it. Nobody else has it. It's a no-brainer for me. And so as we move forward in our self-care journey, beseech God. and ask Him to give you the strength to move even as you grow, because growth is a part of what He wants too. He don't want you to stay the same. It's different levels to this life to be enjoyed. And I feel like when you stay at one level too long, that's when you start getting sad. That's when this uncomfortability in life comes. Because you're there too long. It's time for you to move to the next level. You're in an area and you're in a space too long that you should have been finished with. Whether it's mentally, whether it's physically, whatever it is. But that is why having that connection with God, He leads and He guides you into truth, your truth, what He wants you to do. And so growth can growth can most certainly feel like pain. Grief. Growth can feel like grief. Growth can feel like pain. Growth can feel like sadness. But even with all of this, still be determined to grow. Don't abandon your don't abandon your resolve to grow because you don't want to experience all of these uncomfortabilities that comes with the process. Self-care is a journey. Self-care is a journey. And growth is a part of the self-care journey. Growth can feel like grief. Thank you for listening. This is the Bajo channel, home of self-care, beauty, wellness, and any and everything that'll help you to become the most empowered version of you. I thank you for listening. And remember that self-care, it is the best care. Later.